Hello champions, I'm going to show you a very instructive attacking game played by legendary Morphy, and his opponent is also famous, who is Paulsen. Let's go! e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3, knight f6 for knight opening, bishop b5, and here black has two main moves, bishop c5 and bishop b4. In the game black played bishop c5. Now it looks like white can take bishop c6, remove the defender of e5 pawn, and after this e6 to take the e5 pawn free. However, here black has a good response. I offer you to pause the video and find it. Okay, here f2 and e5 knights are hanging. But if you play here a queen d4, which looks very attractive to attack the e5 knight, and also you want to play queen f2 with checkmate, black will play knight d3 back, defending the f2 pawn and also attacking the c5 bishop. But black's idea after bishop c6, d6, knight e5 is to play bishop f2, typical temporary piece sacrifice, king f2, queen d4, check, and knight will take e5 knight with very good play. After bishop b5, bishop c5, black castled, and knight e5. Interesting move. Now white is temporarily sacrificing a piece. The idea after knight e5 to play d4, typical think, and win a piece back. And after knight e5 move, the modern theory here goes knight e5, d4, bishop d6. If the e5, bishop e5. Black is fine. Now they want to play d6, bishop on e5 is doing a great job. Also they want to take bishop c3, remove the defender of e4 pawn and then win this pawn. But the theory goes here after d4, bishop d6, f4. Interesting move, attacking the e5 and knight with two pawns, and after we move the knight, white is going to play e5 and anyway win a piece back. Black plays here knight c6, e5, bishop e7, giving the knight back. It's a good game. Now d4 pawn is hanging, white played f4, weakening the e4 square, and especially at some point when we go d5, black in future will use the e4 weakness. However, after a short castle knight e5 in the game, here Morphy played rook e8, sacrificing the pawn. The modern theory doesn't think that rook e8 is a good move, because white goes here knight f3, but let's not forget that this game is played more than 150 years ago. In the game, white played here knight c6, d6, and bishop c4. Now it looks like black can take the e4 pawn back, however they cannot. I offer you to pause the video and think why here knight e4 is not a good move. Okay, the thing is that after knight e4, white is going to take knight e4, rook e4, and now this rook on e4 and f7 pawn gonna hang. White can take bishop f7, winning a pawn. Because we cannot take the bishop back, after queen f3, check, we are going to lose the e4 rook and we will play without exchange. After d6, bishop c4, so here instead of taking here knight e4, Morphy played b5. Black attacks the bishop on c4 and they ask opponents to show their cards. In the game, white played here bishop e2, why not bishop b3? Here, knight e4 doesn't work again because of the same reason. White will take and take the f7. But the problem of bishop b3 is here black can play bishop g4, very annoying move for white. Bishop is on b3, not on c4, so there is no more possible bishop e2 move. Also black cannot play here f3 because of the bishop on c5. Knight e2 doesn't make sense, knight on c3 is the defender of e4 pawn, and if white here plays queen e1, after b4, black is going to attack the defender of e4 pawn, and after knight moves, black is going to take the e4 pawn back with a very strong initiative. Rook on e8 will look at this queen on e1, and white has issues. That's why after b5, white decided to play bishop e2 back, agreeing to give the pawn back. Knight e4 was played, knight e4, rook e4. What happened? Black gained the sacrificed pawn back. They here have a little bit bad pawn structure in the queen side. They have here double pawns, also they played b5. And in future in the endgames, white can play at some point a4, creating weaknesses in the queen side. But what compensation has black? They have here very active bishops, and rook, queen, and these four pieces together suddenly can create very strong attack on this king on g1, and white should hurry up. The king was played bishop f3, logical move, bishop on f3 with tempo on rook on e4, also if rook goes somewhere, but white can also take the c6 pawn, bishop f3 is closer to the king on g1, so very logical move, and rook e6 back. At the same time defending the c6 pawn, and it can go to g6, f6 or h6. All these three squares are possible for the rook, and with support of these two bishops, black can create attack on the king on g1. And now white played a c3 mistake. The correct move would be to play d3 and open the bishop on c1. With a c3 move, Paulsen wants to play a d4 with tempo on the bishop on c5, and this way open the bishop on c1. However, c3 move has one big downside. I offer you to pause the video and find it, and also what would you play here with black pieces. Okay, now if your opponent to play d4, their c3 move would make sense. However, here we have queen d3, very strong move. Queen is staying on d3 very strong. None of white pieces can attack the queen on d3. Also, queen d3 is not allowing white to push their d2 pawn. And when white cannot push the d2 pawn, bishop on c1 is very sad. They cannot develop the bishop on c1, thus cannot develop the rook on a1 as well. And with queen d3, Morphy is cutting these two pieces from the king side, and then these four pieces are going to create very dangerous attack on the king on g1. White played here b4 with tempo on bishop on c5, bishop b6, and a4. Looks a very logical move. White is activating their rook on a1, and they are doing it with tempo. Here white not only want to take a b5 using this pin that we cannot take cb5, but also they want to play a5, trapping the bishop on b6. Black cannot play a6, we hope after a5 to play bishop a7, because after a4, a6, white can take ab5. And we cannot take ab5 because a8 rook will hang. We cannot cb5 because bishop f3 would be very happy. And if you take queen b5, queen on d3 was doing a very important job stopping white pawn to play at d4. After bishop b6, a4, here Morphy took ba4. Queen a4. Now black has very bad pawn structure. However, white still have problem with the bishop on c1, and these all three pieces are ready to create attack on king on g1. Morphy played here bishop d7, a mistake. Why this move is a mistake and what it would be correct to play. I offer you to pause the video and think about it. Okay, now c6 pawn is hanging, and with bishop d7 move, black is defending the c6 pawn and also preparing rook a8 and rook e1. A very dangerous threat, after which king on g1 will get checkmate. But bishop d7 move allows white to play queen a6, a very strong and important move. And here black has not a good choice. Whether they should exchange the queens, and with that they will slow down their initiative in the king side, or they should move the queen, after which white will be able to play d4. That's why the correct answer, instead of playing bishop d7, would be to play bishop b7, maintaining control of a6 square, and keeping their idea to play rook a8 and rook e1. Well, the game was played bishop d7, and here Paulsen played rook a2 instead of queen a6, mistake by white too, rook a2, rook a8, and now queen a6, because rook e1 is coming already, very dangerous threat. Paulsen played here queen a6, with the ideas that we discussed in the previous move, but here it's late because they spent here time playing rook a2, and black brought their rook to e8. Now it's a black to move. I offer you to pause the video, close your eyes, imagine that you are Paul Morphy, open your eyes again, and find a nice combination which Morphy did in the game. Okay, here is coming Morphy's famous queen sacrifice, queen f3. Of course not queen f1, with hope after king f1 to play rook e1 check, because after queen f1, I will simply take a queen f1 back. But queen f3, removing the only defender of the king on g1, gf3, rook g6 check. king h1, and bishop h3. Black is threatening to play now not to take the rook on f1, but to play bishop g2 check, king g1, and bishop f3, discover check, and it's a checkmate. How should white defend after bishop h3? If they play here rook g1, not allowing us to play bishop g2, we'll take here rook g1, king g1, and rook e1, and white is going to get checkmate after queen f1, rook f1. After bishop h3, what could do white? They could play here queen d3, which would be most probably the best try. With the idea, after bishop g2, king g1, bishop f3, now it's not checkmate, because white can take the g6 rook, queen g6, g6, and here white is an exchange up. Yeah, black has still some initiative because of the bishop on f3, very strong bishop, and white king on g1 is weak. However, after d3 or d4, next move bishop is going to be on g3, defending the king on g1, and here white will have advantage. But the thing is that after king h1, bishop h3, queen in d3, black has a very strong move here. I offer you to pause the video and find it again. Okay, the rook on g6 is very important piece here in the attack, and we should do everything to keep it here, even not allow opponents to give their queen to the rook. And here it goes f5, very strong move. Next move, again, we want to play bishop g2 check, king g1 and bishop f3 with checkmate. There is no more queen g6. So what to do after queen d3, f5, how to defend it? If white goes queen c4 check, now king f8, very important move. And no more check, as there is no defense against bishop g2, bishop f3. Why king f8 and not king h8? Because white would play here queen f7, taking the e8 rook, and again, if he play bishop g2, king g1, bishop f3, queen will give him to the rook, and now again white will be okay. However, after queen c4 check, king f8, here black is winning. After queen d3, f5, white can try to play rook d1, with the idea after bishop g2, king g1, bishop f3, to play king f1. There is no rook on f1, so white can play king f1. But here black can take the rook on d1. Here black has a rook and the bishop against the queen, but the bishop on c1 and the rook on a2 are so far from the king on f1 that they are getting a checkmate soon. There is no good defense for white. Next move, black is going to play f4, next f3, and then bishop e2. White cannot play f3 because for this move, bishop on b6 is waiting. If f3, g1 with a checkmate. But anyway, after king h1, bishop h3, this queen d3 would be the best try. I played rook d1, and I offer you here to pause the video and find how we can checkmate playing with black pieces. Okay, bishop g2 check, king g1, bishop f3 check, king f1, and here there are two easy ways to checkmate. The easiest one is rook g2. Black has two threats, either to take rook h2 and then rook h1 checkmate, or to take rook f2 with a checkmate. For example, rook f2, king g1, rook g2. And now, no matter where is going the king h1 or king f1, in both cases rook g1 is going to be a checkmate. If king h1, rook g1, double check. White can take king on g1 because bishop is on b6, and also after rook g2, if king f1, rook g1 is anyway checkmate. So after bishop f3, king f1, rook g2 here, white could resign. Another way is to play bishop g2, check, king h1, and bishop e4 check. With the idea after king f1 to play bishop f5. Next is coming bishop h3 with checkmate. One rook is defending this g1, another rook is defending the e1. After bishop f5, white can try to play queen e2, giving their queen to the rook. However, now bishop h3 check, king a1, and rook g1 with a checkmate. In the game Morphy, after playing bishop g2, king g1, bishop f3, king f1, he chose to play the third way, which is a little bit slower, but still black is winning. He played bishop g2, king g1, bishop h3 check, king h1, and bishop f2. Now it's coming bishop g2 with a checkmate. White's only move is to play queen f1, and now white is going to give their queen not to the rook, but to the bishop. And now after bishop f1, rook f1, here the first time in the game, black is up material. They are 2 pawns up. And additionally, after rook e2, the attack didn't finish. Yeah, there is no queens on the board, but still these 2 rooks and the bishop on f2 are going to create checkmating attacks, attacking the h2 pawn. In the game, white played rook a1 back, because they cannot touch the d2 pawn, rook on a2 is hanging, so they played rook a1 with the idea next move to play d4, rook h6, d4, with tempo attacking the bishop on h6 and not allowing black to move the bishop on f2, and then threatening rook h2 a check. It looks like that after d4 move, white is going to get some counterplay. h6 rook is hanging, and also after d4, bishop on f2 is not defending the a7 pawn anymore. And next move, white is going to take rook a7, the pawn threatening rook a8, checkmate from the back rank. However, here followed the last move in the game, after which PAULSEN resigned. I urge you to pause the video and find the last nice move played in the game. Okay, now time for moving the rook on h6, just bishop e3. And the idea is after bishop e3 not to take rook e3, but to play rook h2 check, king g1 and rook g2 with a checkmate. After bishop e3 move, there is no defense, and here white resigned.